Everyone's talking about them, from your foodie friend to your next door neighbor to the influencers you follow on social media. I'm talking about the air fryer. For those of us who didn't buy one in the midst of our pandemic purchases, we might be wondering, is it worth it? And which one should we buy? Well, whether you're considering it for a holiday gift or as a way to make healthier meals for your family, we've got you covered. And by we, I mean Shona. Shona has put a bunch of air fryers to the test. And you know, she takes these tests very seriously. So she's here with her consumer report. Shones, I love when you do these segments because you throw your whole self into them and there's so much to learn.
Oh, thanks, Tracy. I sure do. I try to look at kind of every angle and every element to just make the decision about which is best.
Okay, so why don't you start by explaining what an air fryer is and how they work?
An air fryer, it cooks by using hot air to cook your food with little to no oil. Often no oil, but sometimes you need a little bit.
So tell us how you tested each fryer.
Okay, so I tested each one with fresh chicken wings and frozen French fries, because everybody you talk to, that's like the two things they want to make the most when it comes to a fried food. So I tested using both of those in each of the fryers, and I put them to the preset settings of each of the machines or whatever was recommended in the manual. So I didn't mess around with temperatures or cook times or anything. I just started them in the way that each machine told me that I should cook them the best.
Okay, I love it. Well, let's start with the Breville Smart Oven.
So we're starting with the most expensive of them all. I'm going to call this more of a countertop oven as opposed to an air fryer, but it does air fry, so it made the test. The cook time for this one, with a default cook time, was 25 minutes at 400 degrees. And the fries were actually done in 7 minutes. Ooh. I checked them early, and they were done nice, crispy, and golden in only 7 minutes. The wings, it was only 8 minutes because it was about 1 minute afterwards, and they were crispy and cooked. So the wings only took 8 minutes, and they were delish, like fall off the bone, absolutely perfectly cooked.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Let's talk pros and cons.
Okay, so the pros is this machine has a frozen setting. A couple of them have the frozen setting, and I like that because if you want chicken wings but they're in the freezer, the cook time lets you know how to cook them, how long and temperature for fresh. So this way, if they're frozen, you just follow the same directions but hit the frozen button and it adjusts it all for you. I like not having to calculate that or take the guesswork out of it. And this one has lots and lots of settings. Like I said, it does 13 different types of cooking, from pizzas to broiled to baked to proofing, things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility in this, and you know, it cooked really quickly.
No cons?
The cons, I would say, is it's very big. It is the biggest one of all of the ones that I tested. So kitchen real estate's primo. So is this worthy to have that spot in your kitchen, or do you have the spot in your kitchen? It's a little heavy to be taking in and out, and it's the most expensive of them all. So those are the cons that I'm going to say for these ones. Also, when it comes to cleanup, the chicken wings had to be done on the pan as opposed to in a mesh kind of thing, and they stuck quite a lot to the pan. So cleanup was a little hard on this one. You could solve that with a little bit of oil, but it wasn't in the instructions, so I didn't add the oil. So those are my pros and cons.
That's good to know. Like, I need to know that about the cleaning on the flip side. Let's move on to the Cuisinart air fryer.
I picked this one to test because it was one of the highest rated ones on Amazon. And I was like, okay, well, if everybody likes it, let's see what it's all about. Very budget friendly. I love that. It also does, of course, your air frying, but it's also Wi-Fi enabled, so you can access your cook times on through your smartphone, recipes, things like that. That's a little bit of an extra. When it comes to cooking, the fries were cooked at 380 degrees. For the recommended, I set it for the recommended 25 minutes, so very similar to the first one. But I checked them at 7 minutes because of my experience with the first one, and they were totally done, crisp and golden again. So they're cooking much faster than what the presets are set for the amount that I had in there. Of course, the more you have in it, the longer it might take to cook. The wings, the preset was 380 degrees for 25 minutes. I checked them the same time as the fries at 7 minutes, and they were also totally done.
What didn't you like about that one?
It's not an important thing, but I found the screen really dark. I was having a hard time finding the buttons. It's not like a total deal breaker, but I'll tell you what I really loved about this one was the cleanup. because the tray in it is dishwasher safe. So all you can do is pull it out and you can pop this bad boy in the dishwasher, and it's really, really light to be able to store in and out.
Very good. Okay, let's move on to the Ninja.
Yeah. The price on this one is $399. It does 6 different functions. So it's an air fryer, but it's also a grill, which I thought was pretty cool. The cook time with the fries at 350, it recommended 18 to 22 minutes. They were done in 9 minutes for this one. The wings at 390 were 22 minutes, but they were done in 8 minutes, and they were very, very crispy. I would say excellent crispy. My pros on this, it's really easy to use, and it's clear buttons. You can easily tuck this one away to store it so it doesn't have to live on your counter. And it comes with a smart thermometer, so if you can put that in the meat to cook your meat to perfect temperature if you'd like. And my only con for this one is that it comes with another piece that doesn't store inside it. Oh. So you have to store them separately. Not a big deal, but that's something that would maybe annoy me a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're pulling out all the points. How about the Cuisinart?
Again, I would put this in almost the countertop oven scenario. The fries at 400 cooked in 10 minutes, and the wings at 400 also cooked on 10 minutes. Because this is the style that has the 2 trays in it, I could cook them at the very same time, so that was a really good thing. And it was also very quiet, and it had a very low steam and smoke amount, which I really liked it. My con for it is it's a little on the bigger side, and just like the Breville, cleaning up the wings were a little bit tough when it came to the cleanup for this one.
Okay, so is that another Ninja that you have at the end there?
It is, yeah. I wanted to pull this one because I loved the idea that it had 2 baskets. And the whole dual zone technology is kind of self-explanatory. There's 2 zones, so you can cook separate things, wings in one and French fries in the other at 2 different times and 2 different temperatures. So for this one, the fries cooked in 18 minutes and the wings cooked in 20 minutes. So for me, that's close enough that they sync. But one cool thing about this is they have a feature that you can tell them to sync. So you can put something frozen in one, not frozen in the other, and it will do the math for you to finish them at the very same time. I was like, that's handy. You know, I like that. And when it came to the cleanup, they are dishwasher safe. So that was absolutely a dream, no problem, very easy to use. And when it comes to cons, I mean, it's not an important one, but I guess as well, these ones have a smaller basket. Their total size is really big, but smaller each. So whether that's a pro or con for you, it depends. A single person might actually like that.
Okay. Do we have an overall winner? What did you like the best?
Okay, so here's the deal. We love a winner, but I'm going to tell you this. They all worked, and they all worked great. And they all cooked in relatively the same amount of time. So here's my tip for you. Find the one that suits your space, size-wise, suits your lifestyle. Do you want really big for a family or small because you're a single dweller or a couple? And your price point. And then look at the add-ons. Like, do you need one that does all the pizzas and the cooking and the broiling and etc.? The wings were definitely the crispiest in the Ninja, so I'm going to give them the edge. But Trace, I wanted to explain that if you put your oven on a convection bake, all you need is a cookie sheet and like the tray, a rack that you'd maybe cool your cookies on. Put your chicken wings on that and French fries and just cook it in your oven like this. The air just needs to circulate around the food. And then you have an air fryer, and like I said, you don't need to invest in one of them. You can save yourself money and use a setting you may never use.
See, I love that. You'll only get info like that on Cityline. So you can buy one of these or you can just make your own with a tray and a cookie sheet. Thank you so much, Shona. That was so good. I like the crispy wings. I think that's great. There you have it. Your ultimate guide to Cityline approved air fryer.